The Empress of Tasia, Azurat, stood tall and luminous in her crystalline throne room. The twin moons bathed her in silver, but her eyes were fixed on the large monitor hovering midair, eyes not filled with command but confusion. A human. The one called Mason Carter knelt before her prized and most dangerous creature, Dravok, a biogenetically engineered war dragon bred for obedience and conquest. But ever since his last combat mission, Dravok had refused to respond to any orders. He had turned erratic, depressed, and even violent. Taishan scholars claimed it was a malfunction, but this human, this soft-skinned, soft-spoken Earthborn, disagreed. Az her had watched in silence as Mason, seated cross-legged in the biodome, gently laid down a strange device, a child's picture book. One page showed a son. The next, a family. The dragon sniffed it, let out a confused growl, then tapped it with his claw. Yes, Mason said. Gently, that's a family. Azurat's sharp nails tapped her throne. What is he doing? High Chancellor Vale cleared his throat. He says he's teaching it to speak, Majesty. To speak? Her voice, though melodious, carried a dagger's edge. It's a war beast. No longer, it seems. 3 days earlier, Mason had arrived as part of a diplomatic Earth mission to Tasia. But when he saw the dragon in prison, sedated, and labeled defective, he had volunteered himself. No creature becomes violent for no reason, he said then. Let me try. Azurat had allowed it out of curiosity, or perhaps quiet guilt. Now, that same dragon sat peacefully in the sand beside Mason, tracing lines with its claw. Mason mirrored it with a stick. Why does it draw? Azurat asked through the monitor. It's mimicking him, Majesty, Vale answered. No, wait, it's copying something. Letters? Azurat stood. The Empress had never entered the biodome herself. Too dangerous, too beneath her. But tonight, she stepped through the crystalline archway and into the dim amber light of the dome. Mason didn't look up. He was focused on Dravok, who was scratching symbols into the dirt. The dragon paused when it noticed her. Its eyes flared, not with aggression, but with something closer to embarrassment. Mason turned. Majesty, he said, bowing awkwardly. I didn't hear you come in. What is he writing? Azurat's voice was cool. Mason smiled slightly and pointed to the scratched lines. It's his name, or what he remembers of it before you renamed him. Azurat's eyes narrowed. He was born in our bioforges. He had no name. Maybe not one you gave him, Mason replied, standing. Slowly. But he remembers something. Symbols, maybe genetic memory. A shape, a feeling. The dragon blinked at her, then drew a simple glyph in the sand. Azurat's breath caught. That shape. It wasn't Taisian script. It was ancient Chaldari, the language of the precursors, extinct for millennia. Only fragments survived. Mason looked at her. He's not just a weapon. He's intelligent, traumatized maybe, but he's trying. He's begging to be understood. She stared at the creature. No, the being she had once commanded to level cities. It sat patiently now, eyes deep with ancient memory, paw curled slightly as if shy. Why? She whispered. Why would you care? Mason looked at her. With something she didn't expect, sadness, because humans have done this too. Taken life and turned it into tools. Until one day we realized the cost wasn't just theirs, it was ours. Azurat stepped closer to the dragon. Her hand trembled as she reached out. The beast flinched, then leaned gently into her palm. Low, rumbling purrs shook the dome. That night, the Empress could not sleep. The image of Dravok's eyes haunted her. Not rage. Not madness. Just loneliness. She reviewed old genetic records. To her horror, she discovered that early prototypes of the dragon strain used neural seed stock from extinct sentients, creatures harvested during the first Taishan conquest. Dravok was never just a beast. He was a prisoner of 1,000. Memories. The next morning, she summoned Mason to the royal spire. You said you could teach him to speak. she began, her tone soft. I can. It'll take time, patience, and compassion. She nodded. Then teach me too. Weeks passed. The galaxy whispered of strange changes on Shaw. The Empress had decommissioned the War Dragon program. She declared Dravok a citizen of the Empire, the first non-humanoid life form to receive that title. Some called her mad. Others called her inspired. Dravok now sat at council meetings. He spoke in a low, rumbling voice, a blend of guttural sounds and pictographic projections. And at his side was always Mason, the human teacher, and Empress Azuret, once known as the Flame of Tatia, now stood beside them both, humble.in. Time, she would open a new academy where war creatures, refugees, and even broken machines could come and learn. She would call it the Sanctuary of Voice.in. One human, one dragon, and one empress changed an empire because Mason didn't. Just teach a dragon to speak. He reminded a ruler how to listen.